Storytelling is so important in learning and development. And I think that's because fundamentally, stories are at the center of how we as humans have learned. Some of our first stories were told visually, they were cave drawings. And as we came to language, we began to tell stories, and those stories were repeated and became traditions because stories are really what brings learning to life. It's what draws and illustrates application, and it's how we ultimately talk about the results of what we do. So when we think about the key elements of storytelling and how they relate to instructional design, I think we have to start with the structured plot, right? So every story has a great plot. And so remember that the learners are at the center of it, and they should be able to see themselves as the heroes and not the villains of the story. Ultimately, use stories to lead learners towards solutions, and ultimately use stories to help them gain context and perspective. In some cases, learners should control the pace of the story and how it's told, right? Based on how they're consuming content. It's important that the stories that we tell in training are relevant, factual, and true. The goal here isn't to deceive anybody. It's really to engage them in the process of learning. And the best stories and the ones that are remembered the most, the ones that stick with us, are the simplest and the least complex. Keep the story simple, and your learners will remember them and they will master them.